Well, Billy, that was a great workout. I think first and foremost we should say a big thank you to Leeds United and Julian Darby and Richard Hartis for bringing a strong squad over to Tadcaster tonight.
I think stuff like that priceless for a non-league club like Tadcaster. I think, I don't think they, we appreciate every ounce of effort from Leeds to have brought such a strong squad, and the strong squad was, reflected in the size of the crowd that were here tonight, which was phenomenal, for a club like us to have 1,500 people through the gate over 2 pre-season games is a great achievement, and we have to thank them for that.
Yeah, to get over 1,000 on a Wednesday night was tremendous, especially when obviously the squad was split and there was another game over at York. So fantastic turnout from the crowd. Great start from Tadcaster. First 10 minutes looked very lively, very competitive, and then obviously their class and professionalism started to show through. But I thought we competed well. What were your thoughts on the first half?
Well, we obviously went into the game with a game plan similar to what we did on Saturday, which will give us an indication of where we're going when the season comes along. And I think for us is that we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that it's about minutes on the pitch for the lads, and I think you're quite right in what you say. We came out of the trap really, really well. We had great possession, we kept the ball really well, and we probed without creating too many clear-cut chances, but pleased with the first half performance.
Obviously, Gary Stevens has been called into action many times during the game today. I thought he's had a tremendous game again today.
Yeah, absolutely first class. I think the competition for the #1 slot between Gary and Peter, who came on and made some outstanding saves himself, is absolutely first class, and it's just what we need at this level, because the great thing with goalkeepers is that they're best of friends, and they work hard, they train hard together, and they support each other, and to watch them both go and have a decent performance. But yeah, Gary was one of the standout performances again.
He certainly got a rousing applause when he came off for Peter. As I say, Pete did really well, made some tremendous saves. Should we go through the team, and hopefully we won't forget anybody tonight?
Let's start with him.
Young Mr. Bissett, Georgie Bissett at left back in Paddy's absence.
No, I think the idea of playing George at left back came from Saturday's game, to be fair. Knowing that Paddy would be out tonight, so George went in at left back on Saturday during the game and did a tremendous job for us. And to be fair to the lad, he's had an absolute blinder tonight. He's been up against a really, really pacey winger in Lewis, who's been really tricky and really difficult. I thought George handled it really, really well. Yeah, fantastic performance from George, well done.
Well done, George. Sorry about that, sunshine. Centre half, Danny Stimson, Simo as you like to call him, and Andy Mill.
No, tremendous again. Complement each other really, really well. Got us playing. I spoke to him at half time about maybe trying to involve Jimmy and Liam a little bit more, and I thought they did that better in the second half, which meant that Jimmy and Liam could play the pass, so we weren't giving them time to think about the ball that was coming in. So no, but tremendous again, got the headers in, worked hard, and to be fair, you look at the quality of Leeds up top, and them two lads have to take real credit from that.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be many NCEL teams with the likes of Billy Sharp, Antonucci and Ducara up top, so they've been worked really hard, but I thought they restricted them to a few chances. They've hit the bar and hit the post a couple of times, but the guys at the centre backs have done very well. Over to right back, Corporal Class has slotted in at full back.
Done well for us, hasn't he? Yeah, done a great job for us there, Classy. Went in, did his job, gets his tackles in and that. So productive. It just opens up a different avenue for us with Classy as well, and it means we've got cover in the right areas throughout the team.
You mentioned Jimmy and Liam in the centre of the park. Obviously they ended up sitting quite deep as a result of the quality of the opposition, but they've both had a good game tonight. Yeah,
and shown glimpses of what they're both going to be capable of throughout the season. Liam's we're trying to get the play forward a little bit quicker now, and he's doing that. So we're only 2 games into that. Jimmy's shown pure quality on the ball, kept possession really well, very rarely gave it away in the game tonight. So yeah, I think that the two of them had great performance tonight from both of them.
Looking at your wingers, Adam Baker, you know a lot about. Obviously, you've seen him more than most of us. How do you think he played tonight?
Yeah, well, I think Adam and George, I think again were very, very restricted in terms of, when we did get the ball to them, they were closed down really, really quickly. I thought what was really interesting is that George and Adam both linked really well with the front two just shortly before we brought Adam and Joe Thornton off. So real promising signs there that, 1v1, I think we've got lots and lots of potential in wide areas. We shouldn't lose sight of the quality of the opposition that we're playing against at the moment. Halifax Saturday, full strength side, Leeds tonight with half of the side here and half at York. So I think them two will come good. And I thought Josh Barrett did well as well when he come on, and he played in the wide area as well. He's got great pace, and at one stage I thought he was going to go past the full back, but he did manage to match him for pace in the end.
Taking it as up top, Mr. Brown has worked his little socks off on it tonight up top, on his own for large parts of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Joe Thornton obviously dropped in for us to try and help us out across the middle of the park when we long periods of not in possession of the ball. And Brownie did a lot of chasing for us, and I'm sure that the minutes that he's put in tonight will pay dividends come the season. Joe Thornton, same as, I think we know what we're going to get out of Joe. He's a phenomenal character in and out of the dressing room, complements each other quite well, them two up top tonight. And I think once we get to a position where we go into the season and the quality of the opposition is probably not what we've had pre-season, that I think we'll see the best of some of the centre forwards that we've got inside.
You made some changes later into the game. You mentioned Josh Barrett came on, did well on the right. Callum Ward came on up top.
Yeah, Callum did it. Got his work in, to be fair, and at one stage was tracking back onto the edge of our box to make sure that he helped out, which was good of him, and got himself in a couple of decent positions and had a half chance as well.
Defender just got a block on it and he just took the power out of it.
Which was a shame really, because if he'd have caught it right, he'd have probably finished it. Yeah, it would have been a really good goal. And Danny as well. Danny, I thought, was tremendous when he comes on for someone who's been away now since obviously the Selby game, so missed Saturday's game and comes on tonight's game. And what we said to Danny was get on there and work his socks off for us, and that's exactly what he did. He was an absolute nuisance. He wouldn't let him settle on the ball. Very, very powerful, and again that's sort of a different area or a different sort of outlook to the team, and maybe something we can use throughout the season.
Yeah, and then young Tom Gore came on in the middle of the park.
Tom busy, wasn't he, and did really, really well. Got himself a bit of a whack on the head, and when he come off I said to him, "You alright?" He said, "I'm going back on." I said, "Didn't say that, Tom." I said, "Are you alright, kid?" So brilliant, great commitment from a young lad, and to be fair to him, when he did get in possession, looked after the ball quite well and trying to get us playing forward, which trying to feed the wingers, which is what we've asked people to do. So I think overall tackle that out tonight's game.
Yeah, definitely. It's difficult when you play games like this. Obviously, the result's going to favour the pro team. What did you say to the players at half time coming in 1-0 down?
I just said to him that there'd been I think the key thing was not to get frustrated with each other, and we talked long and hard about not giving ownership to any mistakes to any players, that we were in this together and no one was to blame and everyone was working their socks off, and they were getting closed down really quickly. So normally they'd get away with if the first touch weren't quite there, they're good enough to react and get on the second. Well, they didn't get away with that tonight, so we talked about making sure that if people made a mistake, that we stuck together. We talked about looking after possession a little bit better when we could, and we talked about seeing out the game till about 60 minutes, and then we'd sort of ring the changes, and the lads who have obviously not been involved, getting them on and making sure they get a good 30 minutes run out as well.
Yeah, and little mention for the pitch. Pitch has held up tremendous from Saturday, hasn't it?
I mean, when you've got pro club coming and their players coming to you and saying pitch is phenomenal, and whilst it will do us the world of good during the season, obviously pro teams who can come and zip it about, so I think we'll see more of that. We'll probably see a bit more of that on Saturday with Oldham, although I know they might be a little bit younger, but that's
still play the same way.
Yeah. And then the massive test on Monday Farsley, I think everyone's been absolutely overwhelmed by the standard of pitch. And that's credit to the groundsman and his staff for the amount of work they put into it. They deserve all the credit they get for it.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any staff. I think it's just him, and then
Probably, yeah.
he's had a couple of volunteers helping mark it out
Absolutely,
today.
yeah.
Quick mention of the injuries. Nick Thompson took a knock on Saturday.
On Saturday, yeah. So he's
Stuart
been
Rice
out.
has pulled up.
Yeah, Ricey's got a bit of a niggle. That loosely sort of asked him to sit out for a bit. So again, we'll monitor that. He probably won't be right for Saturday. Nick's back, but I'm not so sure whether he'll be right for Saturday. But we'll have a look at that. You know, and it is pre-season, so we can deal with the injuries because the squad's so strong.
Fantastic, thank you, Billy.
Final mention.
Final
mention to the support again. Absolutely phenomenal. Tremendous. You know, I know we mentioned it at the start. To get the best part, 1,500 people through the gate for 2 pre-season friendlies just gives you a clear indication of just how well supported this club is, and long may that continue. Thanks to everyone who took the time tonight to come down to the game.
Yeah, big thank you to Leeds United, obviously, who've supported it. Not only are the players on the pitch and sending a terrific squad, but the fans have come and have behaved, and everybody's had lots of families here tonight, and everyone's had a great time. So, thank you. Well done, Billy. Good luck Saturday.